welcome back. This is the day we hand sew your binding on. We are so close to finishing this flying geese black and white queen size quilt. We've been working on it for 4 videos now, just over a month. So I'll link to all the videos below so you can see it being made from the very beginning, how to make the block, how to sew the blocks together, how to sandwich, how to quilt, how to attach the binding, which we did last video. So the binding is all made and attached with our machine on the top of the quilt. And today I teach you how to hand sew the binding to the back so you don't see any stitch line, and then it will be done. So excited. Really looking forward to having this quilt on my son's bed. First thing is to thread the needle. I just use the same thread that I've used to quilt. I double up the thread, so it's 2. Hand sewing the quilt is sometimes my favorite part of making a quilt. It's just that relaxing end. I usually put on like a favorite TV show, just relax on the couch. Okay, we're going to start near the corner so that then I can show you the corner. So I'm bringing the binding up and over to the back. We have our stitch line where we stitch the binding. We want the binding to obviously come and cover that. I start by putting my knot behind the edge of my binding, but not through the quilt yet. Okay, so I hold it with a thumb and my forefinger there. So I've got it through the binding. I go vertically down into one layer of my quilt and go along through the middle. Obviously I'm not going through to the other side, I'm just going through one layer, the backing. Take my needle 1/2 centimetre through the quilt and then back out and into the binding. Pull that nice and tight. So again, straight down from where it came out, along 1/2 centimetre and up through the edge of the binding. Pull. Alright, I'll show you that again because I just zoomed in a little bit. So we go in, our thread is through the binding here. We go into the white, the backing, right where the thread had came out of the binding, along 1/2 centimetre, up through the backing and the edge of the binding. Pull nice and tight. And again, down through the backing, along 1/2 centimetre, up through the backing and the edge of the binding, and pull. So as I move along, I just keep positioning the binding in the right spot and holding it with my fingers like that. And I have my thumb holding a bit closer. So I'll continue. I'll just get to the corner and I'll show you the corner. This needle, I might have to change it. It's not actually as sharp as I thought it was. It's nice and fine, but the weave on my backing fabric is really fine that I would need a really sharp needle to pierce it. So I might need to get a new one after I film. So you might just want to trim any bits of thread as well if they're in your way. So I hope everyone had a good week. I'm filming this on a Friday afternoon. My husband and son have gone to footy training. My daughter is working, so I've got the house to myself. I'm going to finish up filming here, and then I'm going to put on some telly and sit here on the couch, peace and quiet, and sew my binding on. So I'm really looking forward to that. Before I have to make dinner, having enchiladas, because we've got 2 very ripe avocados that we want to use. All right, I've gotten to the, I've got little bugs everywhere too. I've gotten to the edge of the quilt, so I'm ready to do my corner. You want to pull this over and down. Okay, so you probably can't see this because of the black fabric, but I do have the fold going in a perfect diagonal, and you can see that this side of the binding does cover up my stitch line. So I then just put 1 corner stitch where I don't travel. I'm just going down and through into my new side. Okay, and then I put a few stitches in this diagonal as well. So I'll go down into my backing, and I'll go along and come up. I've come up halfway along my diagonal fold. And yeah, I'll have to show you this on another quilt, because black is really not probably the best colour to show you. So now my stitch is coming out in the middle of the mitered corner. I'm going to go straight back down there, and then I'll go back over to the start of my binding, so into my binding. Basically, I just want to secure that fold. I want to secure it in place. So give my thread a bit of a tug so it's nice and secure. And now I am ready just to continue in the same method down this way. So I always like to position the quilt going away from me. That's how I work. With the back on top, I'm folding over just the way I hold it, and I stitch with my right hand going that way, so that works best for me. So now I put the stitch in, go along, come back up through the binding, nice tug, down through the backing, along and up through the binding, and I'll just continue this all the way around the quilt till it's done, having a grand old time by myself, watching telly. And have you guys seen that show One Day on Netflix? Oh, I was obsessed. It was such a beautiful story. I really recommend you all go and watch that if you haven't seen it. Yeah, it was one of the best things I've seen on telly for a while. So definitely recommend that one. All right. I'll catch you when it's finished. I'll show you some shots of the finished quilt. Bye. The following night, my husband was cooking a roast. Here he is filming for me. He was very happy with his roast. It was smelling delicious. We had the music going,
and I was busy binding, sewing my binding on the couch. Here I am. Here's a close-up of the binding. A little blurry, but you get the idea. And the final product, all finished. Really happy with this quilt. It looks amazing. This is on our bed, but it will be for our son, but it is queen size, a flying geese quilt, black and white.